Think you're doing okay with money? Cute. Let's test that theory. Because when you look at how people really earn, save, and spend, the numbers are less financially independent by 35 and more, I hope my debit card works at this gas station. My name is Taryn Wilde, and today we're counting down 10 real-world money stats that'll make you want to check your bank balance and maybe cry just a little. Let's get into it. Stat number 1. How much the average person actually earns. In 2024, the average U.S. household income was $121,000. Sounds pretty solid, right? Like we can finally get guac levels of solid? Except, that's the mean average, which means it's being dragged upward by the Musk and Bezos types with 6 homes and a space rocket. The median, aka the actual middle, is $83,730. So yeah, there's a bit of a gap. And by a bit, I mean it's big enough to park a yacht in. No shock then that 2/3 of Americans say they're living paycheck to paycheck. Because once you subtract rent, taxes, insurance, and that gym membership you keep forgetting to cancel, that average income is basically monopoly money. Over in the UK, the median full-time income is £37,430. But 18 to 24-year-olds? They're pulling in just £24,440 on average. So if you're broke in your 20s, congrats. You're statistically on brand. Stat number 2. Why timing the market is basically astrology with better branding. If you missed the stock market's 10 best days over the past 30 years, your returns would have been sliced in half. Missed the top 30 days? You're down 83%. Moral of the story, the market doesn't care about your gut feeling, your moon sign, or your uncle's crypto tips, because those best days often come right after the worst ones. Like in 2020, giant crash, followed by huge gains just weeks later. If you panicked and pulled your money out, you missed the party. So instead of trying to act like a hedge fund wizard, just chill. Time in the market beats timing the market. Be boring. Boring builds wealth. Stat number 3. Financial literacy is expensive, especially when you don't have it. According to the National Financial Educators Council, low financial literacy costs Americans over $1,000 a year. Translation: not knowing how money works is draining your wallet. Slowly. Like a subscription you forgot you had. It's easy to mess up when nobody ever teaches you this stuff. Missed payments, terrible interest rates, fear of investing. It all adds up. But here's the twist. You don't need a finance degree. You just need to learn a few basic rules and actually use them, one step at a time. You're already here, so you're doing better than most. Stat number 4. Emergency funds, aka the financial unicorn. 18% of U.S. adults say the biggest emergency expense they could cover right now is under $100. So if your tire blows or your cat needs a surprise x-ray, you're broke. Immediately. Only 63% say they could cover a $400 expense without borrowing or carrying a balance. And in the UK, 2 in 5 people have less than £1,000 saved. That's one rent payment, maybe. No shame, but no buffer means one minor emergency turns into a long-term problem. Debt piles up, stress levels spike, and suddenly you're Googling, "Can I pawn a flat screen?" Start small. Even saving $20 a week gets things moving. Build to 1 month of expenses, then 3 to 6. Stability is the new luxury. Stat number 5. Retirement savings, or lack thereof. About 1/3 of private sector workers in the U.S. don't have access to a retirement plan. And even when they do, only half actually contribute. So awesome! We love rolling the dice on our future selves. Meanwhile, the UK auto-enrolls workers in pension plans. Not because everyone's a savings genius, because the system does it for them. And surprise, participation skyrocketed. Because when you make something automatic, people actually do it. If the US ever figures that out, we might have a shot. Until then, you're on your own. Stat number 6. A little savings equals a lot less stress. Vanguard found that people with just $2,000 in emergency savings reported a 21% higher sense of financial well-being. Not rich, not debt-free, just slightly less terrified at all times. Those with 3 to 6 months saved saw even more benefits. Less stress, fewer money panics, and, get this, fewer work distractions. Turns out it's hard to focus when you're wondering if your account will survive until payday. So yeah, save money. Not just for your bank balance, but for your actual brain. Stat number 7. Even six-figure earners are broke. PNC's 2025 report says 67% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. But here's the plot twist. That includes almost half of people making over $100,000. Turns out, if your lifestyle inflates every time your paycheck does, you'll never feel ahead. Just more expensive and equally stressed. The fix? Automation. Pay yourself first, then spend. Preferably not all of it at Sephora. Stat number 8. Car loans are highway robbery. Nearly 1 in 5 new car buyers in the US pays more than $1,000 a month. For a car. That's not a car payment. That's a bad relationship. Average loan term? Nearly 6 years. For a vehicle that starts losing value the minute you leave the lot. Even used car loans aren't safe. Higher interest, long terms, same financial handcuffs. Unless you like being broke and mobile, maybe rethink how much horsepower you really need. Stat number 9. Student loans are the gift that keeps on billing. Average US student debt? $42,673. Grad students? Over $60,000. In the UK, grads owe even more. Around £53,000, but their system has a built-in eject button. You don't pay unless you earn enough, and it gets wiped after 30 years. In the US, your loan just follows you, like a Netflix subscription from hell, for decades. Stat number 10. Being a millionaire doesn't mean you feel rich. 7% of Americans are technically millionaires. That's nearly 24 million people. But guess what? 1 in 3 still feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck. Because $1 million doesn't go as far when rent is $4,000 and eggs are $7. So yeah, being a millionaire isn't the flex it used to be. Especially if your expenses scale right along with your net worth. Bottom line, wealth isn't about a number. It's about how well you manage what you have, and how little stress it causes you to check your balance at 2 a.m. So, did any of those hit a little too close to home? Good. That means they're working. I'm Taryn Wilde, and I don't give financial advice. I just say the quiet part out loud. Subscribe if you want to see more. Or don't. Just don't say no one warned you.